Hey, what's up everyone? It's Mose the Man here, and today we're going to talk about a topic which I'm sure we all dread, and that's debt. It doesn't matter how rich you are or how poor you are, we all have some sort of debt, and it's either causing us a lot of pain and a lot of stress in our lives, or it's benefiting you in some sort of way. In this video, we're going to talk about how you can take back control of your life and pay off those debts fast. And I'll also teach you how to look at debt from a different perspective and use it as leverage to actually increase your wealth. The most richest and most powerful people in the world all have some sort of debt. It doesn't matter whether they're millionaires or billionaires, they all have a lot of debt that they take on, and it actually makes them wealthy in the long run. So guys, I want you to remember something that will make sense later on in the video, and that is one, people who take on bad debt either become poor or stay poor. And two, people who take on good debt either become rich or stay rich. Okay, so bad debt equals poor and good debt equals rich. So remember that, it will make sense later on. Hopefully by the end of this video, you have a completely different understanding of debt and which type of debt you want to pay off fast and just get rid of, and the type of debt that you want to have to actually increase your wealth and make you richer in the long run. If you like the sound of this video, then please remember to subscribe to the channel. You can hit the button on the bottom corner right here, and also smash the like button. It really helps out the YouTube algorithm. Okay, so let's talk about the different types of debt that exist, because there's a misconception out there that all types of debt are bad. But let's first take a look at good debt. Firstly, mortgage. This is a good type of debt. Most people think it's a massive burden on you. You're going to be locked into a debt for 25, 30, 35 years and you're never going to be able to get out. But look at it this way. Every time you make a monthly payment, you are gaining equity and owning another piece of the house. House prices increase or generally increase over time. In fact, every 10 years they double, so any interest that you're paying on your mortgage is well worth it. Another good type of debt is student loan. That is because you are investing in yourself. Any investment that you make for yourself is always going to pay off in the long run, and it should never be looked at as money wasted. Especially here in the UK, I know tuition fees are going up, but compared to the rest of the world like America, it's fairly low. And student loan is probably the only type of debt that you ever be allowed to take out and not actually have to pay it back. Yes, that's right. If you're considering going to university or not, please remember, don't look at the debt as a massive burden on yourself, because you only get charged, or you only have to pay that debt back if you earn enough. And if you don't earn any money, then you don't have to pay it back. Another good type of debt is a business loan. You're taking out a loan to start a business, to create something, and that's going to make you money in the long term. Hopefully one day you can earn income from this business, you're providing jobs and you're improving the economy. Now guys, let's move on to the bad debts. Okay, this is the one that really hurts, the one we don't get much benefit from. Okay, so things like credit cards. Okay, you can see in my previous videos, I don't really give credit cards much emphasis. I really think people should avoid it as much as possible, unless you are those very few people who actually use it properly to gain points, to gain a good credit score and make sure they're paying off their balance every month and not doing that minimum payment. Another bad type of debt is car loans. This is probably one of the worst ones you can possibly take out, because you're gonna take a loan, pay interest on an item that is depreciating every single day. Okay, a car depreciates in value every single day, yet you're paying more for it. So you are losing here twice at the same time. Personal loans, again, a bad type of debt, because you're not really gaining anything from it. You're paying interest, but you're not getting anything in return. And payday loans, wow, I cannot believe someone actually invented this type of loan. In fact, it should be illegal to have a payday loan. I don't know why they let these people or these institutions get set up. It's just criminal. Okay, let's now talk about how we can pay off these debts. Now, there's a reason why I went through and classified what exactly should be considered a bad debt versus a good debt. And that's because it will allow you to and help you to prioritize which ones you want to pay off first. The first thing I'll do is make a list of all the bad debts that you've got in your life. Okay, that's your credit cards, your car loans, personal loans, payday loans, whatever it is, all the bad debts, list it down and write the exact number. Actually write the exact balance down. Don't give a round figure, okay, because what you tend to do if you just start putting, say, £3,000 or £4,000 there, is you kind of round up. You never really round it down, you round it up. And probably the number in your head is probably a lot bigger than you think. So guys, let's take this as an example. We have two credit cards here. We've got a car finance and we've got a personal loan. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is write down the actual balance for each of these and not put a round figure. Okay, so if the balance for credit card 1 is £2,356.78, then write down £2,000, 356.78. Okay, now do that for the rest of your bad debt loans. Okay, so we've got the rest of them put down like this. As I mentioned before, it's good to do it. It's good to get that clarity because the number is probably a lot bigger in your head than you think it is, and that's what's scaring you. Okay, because you've got to face this fear, because this whole list there, it's a scary thing to look at, you know. But you'll never be able to pay off these loans unless you tackle it head on. Okay, we've all been there. I mean, I remember when I had a few credit card debts, I used to avoid even looking at the balance or even at my bills because I was just so scared of what the number would be. Once you've written it all down, it's probably not as bad as you think. Once you've got that clarity, that's the first step in taking control of your debts. Okay, remember, clarity equals control. Okay, next, now you've got your list. There are two methods that you can use to pay off your debts. The first one's called the Snowball method. Now this is where you pick the lowest balance in your list to pay off first, okay, and the rest of them you leave as a minimum payment. In doing that, when you pay off the lowest one, then you pick the next lowest one, and the next one, and next one, and so on. And eventually you should be able to pay off the whole thing. Now that's why it's called the Snowball method. You start off small, and you build it up, and eventually you pay off the entire debt. Now, I personally like this method. It's one of my favorites because once you pay off the lowest one first, it gives you a small little satisfaction and like a psychological boost to go on and pay the next one, and then pay the next one, and pay the next one. Okay, so the second method you can use is something called the Avalanche method, and that is where you pay off the loan that's costing you the most in terms of interest. Okay, so the one with the highest interest, you pay that one off first. Let's say for each of these loans we have these interest rates on them. Okay, so the Avalanche method says that we should pay off the one that's costing us the most, the one we're paying the highest interest. So in this example, we pay off the car finance first, okay, while we leave the others in minimum payment. Once we've paid off this one, then you pay off the next one of the highest interest, and next one, and so forth. Now personally, I don't actually like the Avalanche method myself, purely because when you're paying off the highest interest or the one that's costing the most first, it probably takes you a lot longer to pay that one off. And I really think that short-term success is really key to getting rid of that stress, because at the end of the day, the money is not really that important. It's actually the stress levels and the guilt and how it's affecting you and your life that's the most important thing. So if you can start paying off debts very quickly and the smaller ones, that gives you a short-term boost rather than waiting to try and pay off the whole thing. Right guys, I've got another bonus method for you, and this is one I recently learned from watching a YouTube video actually on this very, very successful entrepreneur called Dan Locke. And he says, okay, when it comes to paying off your debts, pay off the one that's going to give you the highest psychological payoff. What does he mean by that? So the one that's probably causing you the most stress, the most guilt, pay that one off first. For example, if you've, say, borrowed money from a family, or borrowed money off a friend and he's bugging you every month or bugging you every other day, texting you saying, where's my money, where's my money? Pay that one off first. That's probably causing you more stress than the ones that you're actually paying back to the bank. Because let's face it, dealing with the bank is nothing compared to dealing with another human being. So guys, remember at the start of the video when I asked you to remember the following: bad debt equals poor, good debt equals rich. Well, now I'll try to explain this in the context of your age. So here we have a debt versus age timeline. So on the bottom here we have your age, okay? So, we've got it in 20, 30, 40, 50, so in every 10 years. And on the other side, we've got the type of debt that you take out. Let's start with this. Let's say between your 20s and 30s, all you did was take out bad debt. So credit cards, personal loans, car loans, all that sort of stuff. A lot of fun. You went on lavish holidays, you stayed at fancy apartments, you drove nice fancy cars, you wore, designer clothing. So on the surface and to the world, you actually look rich, right? Okay, you look rich. But when you get to your 30s to 40s, you will actually be poor. Because at this point, you'll be paying for your actions back in your 20s and 30s. You'll be still paying off those debts. You will be unable to take out mortgages. I've been unable to take out all the good types of debts. It will just be difficult to do that. life will actually become a financial struggle and everyone will see it. And then if you continue this cycle into your 30s and 40s and 40s and 50s, you take on more credit card loans, you take on more personal debt, then it's just a vicious cycle. It's an endless cycle of poverty and you'll never be able to get out. It's actually one of the main reasons why I started a YouTube channel in the first place, because I see a lot of youngsters, or I see a lot of people who've just gone through this cycle, and I don't want you guys to make the same mistakes. In fact, I remember a time when I used to drive around in a £500 banger. I remember it was a Volkswagen Polo. I absolutely loved that car, but people used to laugh at me, behind my back. And I used to know it, used to make fun of me, and I didn't really care. I used to wear crappy clothes. I never used to go on lavish holidays. I used to probably go on a holiday and stay in a hostel or something. But I'm not meaning to brag now, but I'm in my 30s now, and it's a completely different story. Those same people who are laughing at me are now struggling financially, and now they've got added responsibilities of families and all these other types of debt they've got to take care of. But don't actually fear, guys. It's never ever too late to make a change. If you start paying off these bad debts from now and taking on good debts, then you can change that completely. And in the next decade, or in the next 5 to 10 years, you could be rich. Now let's look at the flip side of that situation. Say between your 20s and 30s, you were taking on nothing but good debt. So you're taking on mortgages, you're taking on student loans, you're taking on buy-to-let mortgages, taking out business loans, okay? On the surface, you actually look poor, right? You actually look poor. But through hard work, dedication, between the 30s and 40s, you actually start becoming rich. Now you have a significant amount of assets in the house, that mortgage you've been paying off. Your business is starting to kick off now, so you're starting to gain some income from that. You have highly valued skills because you invested in your education, you invested in yourself, and that's now starting to pay off. So you're getting those promotions at work, you're starting to get paid more, you're building out your network. And if you continue this cycle, then you only just get richer, and your growth and your net worth will just start growing exponentially. This is how the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. The rich, they've invested in themselves. They invested in the right things, which is now starting to pay off for them. And that payoff will just start growing and growing and growing. Whereas if you're poor and you keep taking on these bad type of debts, then it just kind of ruins you financially. So the type of debt that you take out and how you manage that debt can make the difference between being poor and being rich. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you guys next time.